welcome to Chant A Psalm A. We are here again today. Some of you are not getting up yet. It is Saturday. Yes, it is Saturday, and we are here again for Chant A Psalm A. Oh my goodness, the sun is shining. It is beautiful outside. Oh, I'm gonna go walk my dog. It is gorgeous outside. So we're gonna get the psalm started. It's I don't know what the weather is today. What is the weather here in the Eastern Shore? It's in the 50s. So we're like 53. It's mostly sunny today. But it looks like it's going to be a really nice day. It's going to go up into the high 61. So I'm not the weather girl, but let's check in with all of this stuff first, right? As you see, I still have my roses, and I always buy myself flowers. You got to give yourself flowers. Nobody else is going to give it to you. You can't wait for someone to give you flowers. You have to give yourself flowers. So these are I had a half a dozen, and I have 3 of them in my office. Yes. 3 of them in my office, and I left 3 of them here so that you all could see the beautiful flowers. These are the footprints that angels leave behind. Beautiful. So that's my flowers there. And then, of course, I have my hot tea. Yes. So I have my hot tea. And you see, I have my beautiful painting in the background there. I have a good friend that's having a birthday coming up. They're going to get that from me. Yeah, so I'm excited today to see what the day is going to bring and what we bring to the day, right? So the psalm today, when I looked at the psalm this morning and I looked at it, I said, wow, this is a beautiful psalm. It's Psalm 64. So those of you who were born in 1964 and had a birthday on November 13th, you know who you are. Happy birthday, belated. So this psalm is 64, and it's titled, Hide Me from the Wicked. Hi, Kayla John Cox. Hi, welcome to Chant A Psalm A. Come on in. And thank you for liking this video, by the way. Thank you for subscribing to this channel. Somebody subscribed to my channel yesterday, so thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for liking this video, because that is what the psalm is about. It's about sharing goodness, sharing kindness, and sharing love, right? In abundance. And that's what we're about. We're about trying to, I don't want to use the word disconnect from our flesh, but we want to embrace our temple as that of righteousness, that we put into our temple goodness, so that it can have a sustaining use for us throughout our life. What happens is, a lot of times stress gets the best of people and it impacts their bodies. Thank you for liking this video. Thank you. And this Chant A Psalm is about, finding that sweet spot within yourself that is going to bring a calmness and a sense of, I'm okay. It's going to bring a sense of, I'm feeling good about myself. I am worthy. I belong. I am a purpose. I have a purpose, right? So when I looked at the psalm today, and this is important because we have a work to do, and we get, the enemies are busy, and like really busy, as this Fortnite kid 123 mentioned. I don't care. That's the enemy. The enemy is very busy. So we want to give a sense of kindness and not madness, right? The world is already mad, and Miss Fortnite Kid 123, you're gonna have to be put on a timeout, as well as removed because you're not bringing kindness um, to the space. Okay. Um, and when we don't bring that, we find that that is what we attract. So we don't want to attract unkindness. We don't want to attract um anything that is mean and divisive, right? So I have stood firm on this channel about Fortnite. And Fortnite is violence. It's a violent video game, and children shouldn't be partaking in that. And when adults use that as a babysitter, this is what the outcome is. The person who is playing Fortnite, this is what they do. Shut up, please. I don't care. This kind of rhetoric comes out of that. So I always start off with, let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable in the sight of what is right, what is good, and what is kind. Because obviously, people are not. They're not kind. They're not trustworthy, and they bring a sense of loss. They are lost in the world. So thank you, Kayla John Cox, for taking care of Mr. Fortnite Kid 123. And I just hope that they don't get lost in the fantasy of that game, and they come into the reality of using their hands to plant food, using their hands to help a homeless person, using their hands for good, and not sitting there using their hands, kill, 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 kill. You're killing yourself each day when you do that. And that chips away at the goodness within you when you're consumed with things of the world. And when you're consumed with things of the world and they don't come forward for you, you're disappointed. So I always tell, my son always says, do you want to be rich or do you want to be poor? He has this question that goes on. And I said, we are rich. We're rich beyond our own imagination, but we are looking at the outside for richness instead of what's on the inside. And that's what the psalm is about. Look at the hawk flying above me. Beautiful. It's a beautiful day today. I must mention that. And let's get the sun shining in so you all could see what I'm talking about outside my window. A beautiful day. So we have blue skies. We have a hawk that's circling. And it's a beautiful day. Yeah, that's my closet. We don't want that. You want to see the beautiful flowers here. So let's jump right into the psalm. We're like 9 minutes in. We're at the top of the hour. It's a 9 a.m. hour where I am. Where you are, it's probably 8 o'clock hour where you are. Or it's probably 11 o'clock where you are. So we're up at the hour, wherever that is for you. Happy Saturday. Oh my goodness, this is so good. So we have the Psalm today 64, and I love the Psalm today because it's titled "Hide Me from the Wicked." And we are not here to judge folks their wickedness. We're here to find their goodness, right? To look deep within and look for their goodness. So in verse 1, it begins with listen, right? Listen to my voice. So listen to I voice, oh God. This is who you're talking to. Don't wait when something is really distressing to talk to God, right? Because this is what is going to happen. God is going to bring these distress because he knows, that's the only way to get to you. That's the only way to talk to you, or for you to talk to that righteousness, right? So listening to your voice, O righteousness, in your complaint, something you're complaining about. What is it that you're complaining about? Maybe it's a coworker. Maybe it's you're complaining about your relationship with your family or your friends or your spouse or your partner or your whatever you want to call that, whatever you're in, you have a complaint about. You bring that to righteousness, because a lot of times when you bring that to people, they weaponize that against you. They do. So you want to have your prayer closet, whatever that is for you. Bobby, are you itchy? Hmm? Whatever that is for you, and go there and speak to God. Speak to righteousness, speak to mercy, speak to love, speak to kindness. This is what God represents, all of that. Speak to that. And in your complaint, you're asking for preservation of your life from dread of the enemy. Okay. And you saw the enemy came on here, Fortnite Kid 123. You saw that, right? And that enemy came in this way of not caring, speaking words of I don't care, speaking words of shut up. Okay. That's the enemy. And it's a good example, right? Thank you, Fortnite Kid 123. You're unfortunately being a bad example, but it's still an example of what the enemy is. And the enemy is out there doing that. So in verse 2, it speaks of hide I from these secret plots of the wicked, of the enemy. Hide I from that. And these are throngs. They're coming in throngs. And they're throngs of evildoers who whet their tongues as swords, like what this one Fortnite Kid is 123 talking about. Whetting their tongues with these words of I don't care. And they're shooting them like arrows. They're shooting them, sending them into this, live, right? And they're bitter. They're bitter words. It's according to Psalm 64, verse 3. They aiming bitter words as arrows, right? And in verse 4, shooting from ambush at the blameless. They're behind a computer, right? In ambush, shooting at the blameless, shooting at them, at the blameless suddenly and without fear. They don't, like they said, I don't care. So that I don't care is an exemplary example of verse 4. They're suddenly coming onto my live and doing that, not knowing that I could trace your Fortnite Kid 123 handle, and find out who you are behind that. I have friends who work in certain places. Thank you, Kayla John Cox, for returning. So be careful, who you are trying to hurt or trying to mess over, who you're doing things to. Be careful, because it could be a person who is locked into God, and God hears their cry, and you're the one who causing it. There's gonna be an outcome that you may not like, because you're not hurting a person, you're hurting God. You're not hurting yourself, you're hurting God, because God lives within you. So when people want to hurt themselves, or they want they have suicidal ideations, they're not hurting them. They're hurting the creator that created them and that is within them. They have to go deep within themselves to find that. And so in that, um, they don't have any fear. So verse 5, it talks about them again, that they hold fast to their evil purpose, right? They're holding fast to this to this purpose of coming onto my live and spewing out, mean things, similar to the vicious voicemail that I got. Seems like there's a pattern there. So anyway, we see that they're talking of laying, snares secretly, thinking, who can see them? They're behind a computer screen. Who can see you? And in verse 6, it talks about that they're searching out injustice, and they're speaking how they've accomplished a diligent search. They're in there searching for, whatever. And for the inward mind and heart of a man are deep. Okay, so verse 6 is really going into how people are, the links people will go to, the links people will go to. So verse 7, after all this that people are doing, guess what verse 7 says? Verse 7 is like, guess what? The Most High, that's righteousness, shoots arrows at these folks. Like, you don't have to pick up a gun. You don't have to do nothing, because this is what is gonna be. God is gonna take care of it. Righteousness, mercy, love, compassion, long suffering, forgiveness. That is what God is. That's gonna take care of it. And they're gonna be wounded suddenly, like with the quickness. Okay, with the quickness. And in verse 8, it talks about such a drastic outcome, that ones are brought to ruin with their own tongues now turned against them. And I tell my son this: stop talking things onto people, because they're going to come right onto you, right? And look, it's right here in verse 8. This is Psalm 64, verse 8. And how are people brought to ruin? Not by somebody else ruining them, their own tongues turning against them. And all who see is going to wag their heads like, I told you. Blessed greetings of love and joy with great gratitude for the Most High daily. Thank you, Elsu, for joining. Kayla for returning. This rise in the psalm, we had someone come in, Fortnite Kid or something, 123, and was, spewing out, I don't care, telling me to SHUT, basically to be quiet. And that's what the enemy wants. The enemy doesn't want to be exposed. And this psalm exposes folks, right? It exposes folks to the point of, guess what? What side are you on? Are you on a righteousness, or are you on the bullshit? Basically, I'm going to say this is not a channel for children. Okay. What are you on? So that's in verse 9, all that when the Most High shoots the arrow. Thank you for liking this video, by the way. And same to you. When the Most High sees all this and shoots this arrow, that's when mankind is going to fare. When they see this happening, they're going to be like, oh, goodness. They tell what righteousness has brought about and ponder what righteousness has done. God, the Most High, that's righteousness, is going to make people see their mistakes. They're going to ponder on their beds, whether they're sleeping or awake. Okay? And what is the righteous to do? What are you all to do out there when people are, doing these things that are not righteous? What are you going to do? You're not going to start barking at the train. It's verse 10 says it. Let the righteous one rejoice in the Lord. Let the righteous one rejoice in righteousness. Right? So, yes, Elsu, we have a gift, a breath. We have life. And being forever thankful with that, in that, for that, about that is where we want to be. That is the rejoicing over and over and over again. That's what forever is, for all time to come. We have that rejoicing. And we're taking safety in that. Safety in that righteousness, that space. We're trusting that. Because in verse 10, the ending of the Psalm 64, in verse 10, let all the upright in their heart exult. So that person who came in, Fortnite Kid 123, is not upright because in their heart, because what's coming out, they're exalting in the bullshit. Right? That's what's happening. And they may say it's just a joke, but guess what? When something happens to you, don't think it's a joke, because it's you creating that destiny for yourself. So your behavior creates your destiny. I tell my students this all the time. How you behave and how you treat people, whether it's online, whether it's in person, whether it's on the phone, you're going to receive that 10 times back. Okay? This person that, and I use this as an example, the vicious voicemail. We are to be humanity's greatest gift as human beings. What has happened is humanity has gone in a tumbling down into a rabbit hole of wrongness, into themselves, into this individualism instead of a collectivism. The USA, they're about that. Individualism. That's why it's competition. That's why you see so much money going to the NFL, the NBA. It's about that. And within that space, you have the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. And the poor getting squeezed tighter and tighter and tighter. Because we're so consumed with individualism. And I want this. It's my birthday. It's Christmas. I'm getting a gift. Me. It's not I and I. It's not we're a collective. We're a team. I'm going to put $1 away and save it. You're going to put another $1 away. We're going to save this. We're going to be good. Let's work this together. And sometimes people are so indoctrinated into that individualism that they don't want to see a collectivism. Caribbean people are more collectivism. They work together. Black Americans in the USA have been indoctrinated into this ideology of crabs in the bucket. And some Caribbean people are too now. I'm not going to generalize. But we have to get beyond our generational curses into generational wealth. And generational wealth takes sacrifice. I'm going to sacrifice this to get this. And every year, consumerism sucks people into the indoctrination of holidays. Yeah. And this makes it difficult. It makes it quite difficult because the same system that you are supporting is the same system that is tearing you down. And this is what happens. So it's 26 minutes, y'all, and the psalm is finished. This is our psalm today. It's Psalm 64, and it's talking about these things that are not good. You're going to be hidden from them. I'm in Princess Anne. I'm on the Eastern Shore, um, and it's like hidden. My son is like, "Where did you bring me to?" But it's really nothing out here. It's peaceful. It's a serenity. It's a patience. Things are in its time, and I like to go outside and walk in creation. And I miss my island home. Don't get me wrong. I miss my island home because I go to the beach. Like right now, at this time, I would be at the beach. I go early though, 6 a.m. I go early to see the sunrise and have my hot tea on the beach. I'm gonna get a little thermos where my hot water stays hot, and I could pour the hot water and have my tea on the beach. And you guys can tune in if I have a good reception. But I looked at the psalm today, and 64 is the psalm. And even though it's 10 verses, it packs a punch, like a serious punch, because people are secretly plotting against you, and they're plotting against you. But you have to stay on the side of righteousness. I told someone a year ago, come and move here with me and they said no. That was a foreshadowing because I can tell certain things and see certain things ahead, you know, like a little ants there, or squirrels preparing. This is what I do. And I don't know why that happens with me, but I could see things and I could feel them. So, now it's to the point of, oh my goodness, now you see what I was speaking about. Now you see that, okay? Now you see it. So it's not in the time I want people to see it. I can't get frustrated. All I got to do is lay it out, and it's for you to take it for what it is. Either you're going to make decisions based on what I'm telling you, or you're not. And then when you make decisions counter to what I'm telling you, what ends up happening is what's happening today. So when I look at the psalm today, it's powerful because it makes me know that I'm on the right side. I'm not on your side. I'm not on this one side. I'm not on that one side. I'm on the side of what's righteousness, what's goodness. That's the side I want to be on. And in that space, I look at, for November 16th, I look at the word today, fun. And having fun draws me closer to God. And that's what I told somebody. You cannot serve God and be unhappy. You have to be happy in order to serve that. And that happiness cannot come from someone outside of you. It has to come from within you. You cannot find happiness in a person. Because what if that person has to go away for 3 months? Or they have to take care of their parents who are sick. You know what I mean? What if something happens, you don't see that person? What, are you going to go find somebody else because you're unhappy and alone? No. When you are mature in Christ, When you're mature in righteousness, you do the right thing. Yes, when you're mature in Christ, that's what that means. You do the right thing. And that right thing is supporting each other. That right thing is, long suffering and forgiveness. I forgive you for being away. I miss you. I want you, but I forgive you. I forgive myself. I have to learn the happiness within me. Because then this is when the enemy comes in, when the enemy sees, oh, that person is not finding happiness within themselves. I'm going to come and I'm going to destroy that person because they think I'm going to give them happiness, and that turns me on in a little way. I'm going to play this game, and then people play games with each other, and this is what ends up happening. So we want to have fun, and that fun needs to draw us closer to God. So if somebody speaks to me, oh, I want to take you out. I want to take you out. I want to take you out, and I'm going to show you the town. I'm going to show you this. I'm going to do this. Like how the devil did to Jesus, showed him all the stuff of the world. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you that. And Jesus was like, nah, what are you talking about? That's not fun. I want to do something that draws me closer to the Father that sent me here to conquer folks like you outside of myself, who's trying to, come in and destroy us. This is what people try to do. People want to destroy folks. Psalm 64 says it. So happiness is not found outside of yourself. You're going to get in trouble with that. Happiness is found when you're alone with yourself, right? You're sleeping with yourself, and that draws you closer to righteousness and to the Most High. So that, guess what? You're going to have that person next to you, and you're going to appreciate it because you're like, wow, I miss you so much. Oh my gosh, let me look at you. You're going to appreciate that person. Absence of a person is supposed to make their heart grow fonder, not going after someone else. We got to learn, and sometimes we're going to learn the hard way. So the Psalm today, 64, really pushes it to the word today, fun. Having fun draws me closer to God. So staying in that space. If someone is going to ask me out, we're going to go to church. I'll be like, okay, that's fun. That draws me closer to God. What else draws you closer to God? That's a question for today. Going to a botanical garden draws me closer to God. Like that draws me closer to the Most High because I'm in that space of creation, right? What else draws you closer to God? Going to the library, teaching students, little children draw me closer to God. So what draws you closer to the Most High? That is the word today, fun. Fun is what does it for me. So having fun may not seem as a spiritual practice, right? But it is. Taking time to relax and laugh and play gives me joy, right? Feeling joy gives me a strength to find the presence of that righteousness that's God within and all around me. So it starts with within first, then you'll be able to see it around you. It doesn't say look outside of yourself first and then look inside. No, we have to what? Put the mask on ourselves first before we can put it on someone else. And we are good people. We want to help everybody, right? So I love that presence of God within and then all around, right? So what draws you closer to God? What draws you closer to God? Fun lifts me. Hey, stop that. Fun lifts me out of the seriousness and more mundane aspects of life. When I feel light and joyous, I am more creative and everything seems possible. I told my students that if you're studying for the final, stop studying for a minute. Stop studying for a minute and watch a movie. Do something fun. Because maybe studying isn't fun unless you make a game out of it, right? So finding that light and joyous moment, you're going to find that creative and everything is going to seem possible. So this is the lasting gift. This is the lasting gift of fun. The reminder there is so much more to life than what my senses show me. Come here. People are outside my window working and he's barking at them. Stop it. Go to your bed, right in here. Go there. Now stop. Stop it. So there's so much more to life, right, than what your senses show you. So much more. I am a spiritual being. That's what it says, speaks here. And I look at spiritual as righteous. I'm a righteous being. I'm a good being. I'm a merciful being. I am a compassionate being. I'm gracious. I'm helpful. You know, I'm this. I want to embody all of that. Okay, I'm not perfect. So in that knowledge that this is my being, I'm blessed with the gifts of imagination, zeal, and love. Fun brings these gifts to life, okay? Elsu mentioned the gift of breath is amazingly refreshing, right? That fun, that breath that's refreshing allows you to have fun and to have that imagination and that zeal and that love. So that's empowering you to dream of a life beyond your senses, where anything is possible. Absolutely anything is possible. So the ransomed of the Lord shall return. We've been ransomed. We've been, we're returning and come to Zion with chanting. Okay? Ever first joy shall be upon their heads, and they shall obtain joy and gladness, and sorrow and sighing shall flee away. So there's not going to be any more sorrow and sighing. That's going to flee away. Obtaining joy and gladness is what we receive. So repeat after me. I receive joy and gladness. I will obtain joy and gladness. Sorrow and sighing shall flee away from me. Isaiah 51 verse 11. Isaiah is my guy. Like, Isaiah is the one. I want me an Isaiah, because Isaiah is surrendering to what that righteousness of God is speaking to through. He is being a vessel for that. How amazing is that? He's on the right side. So the ransomed of the Lord shall return and come to happiness, because that's what Zion means. It means happy, fun, joyful. It's like a playground and you're a child running around on the playground having fun. And you're chanting, the wheels on the bus go round and round, and it's this joy that's sustaining. I don't even want to use the word everlasting joy. It's like deeper than that. It's like an infinity and beyond joy. And it's upon your heads, because you're the head and not the tail. You serve that head that's your master of your life. That is your head. Other people may disagree, but it's okay. You're not here serving people. When you serve other people, guess what? You're going to be disappointed. You're going to be disappointed. When you serve other things and other people, you're going to be disappointed. That's just what it is. You have to serve what is greater than yourself. And what's greater than yourself is within yourself. It's right in there. but we can't see it because we're using our senses. In the word today, life is so much more to life than just your senses, that your five senses. You got that sixth sense, you got that third eye. I want to get a bendy and put my bendy right there. I have to go to the Indian temple to get one. But anyway, so the ransomed, as Isaiah speaks of. And we see the verse of the day. I pulled the verse of the day up. And the verse of the day, when I pulled it up, let's see. It's Psalm 119, verse 18. Open my eyes that I may see wonderful things in your law. That is beautiful. Oh my goodness. So it's the same thing as Psalm 64 is talking about, right? And the word today from Isaiah 51, verse 11, having fun. Open my eyes that I may see wonderful things in righteousness, in mercy, in compassion, in grace, in love, in forgiveness, in long suffering. Because that's what Jesus was about, long suffering. So open my eyes, repeat after me. Open my eyes that I may see wonderful things in righteousness's law. And you can put whatever in place of your. And that your is the Most High, right? But let's define it so we can build the relationship with the Most High. These are building blocks, these words. Compassion, grace, long suffering, forgiveness, all of that represents that sacred love of the Most High that we can't find among people. We find that within ourselves. I'm my happiest. Before I met you, I was happy. This is what I'm moving forward with. Before I met you, I was happy. When we were together, I was happier. And then now that you've left me, you've chosen someone else, I'm my happiest. Because I see that happiness isn't with you. Happiness comes from me. And I love it. I love all things are working together for our good. When you find yourself in a pain, sadness, and you're unhappy, guess what? It's working together for your good. I'm telling you from my experience. My relationship ended right before my dad passed. My dad passed, and I was in a distress. But all of that was working for my good, to prepare me, to give me the strength and the fortitude needed for my next chapter in life. Yes. So I'm thankful for all the pain. I'm thankful for all that. And this is the end of the psalm. We did the verse of the day. Psalm 119, verse 18, open my eyes that I may see the wonderful things of righteousness' law. And then we have the word today, fun, and it's brought to us today by Isaiah 51, verse 11. Having fun draws me closer to God. So I'm going to go have some fun today. I'm going to probably go to breakfast, take my son to IHOP. We want to go to breakfast. We might go there. And the psalm today, hiding me from the wicked, because they're out there trying to plot. So in Psalm 64, focus on verse 7, that righteousness is going to take care of it, right? Righteousness is going to deal with it. And then folks who are dealt with are going to talk about what righteousness has done and what, they're going to ponder about that. But verse 10, tells us what we're supposed to do. As righteous folks, we're going to rejoice again and again and again and take safety in that. That is the Most High. So thanks for joining Chant A Psalm A Day. Remember, stand in love, don't fall in it. And always know that you are the good soil. Put all of the goodness into you, into that good soil. Have a blessed day, everyone. Take good care. Have a blessed day. Remember the question for today. What draws you closer to God? What is it that draws you closer to God? Think about that. Have a blessed day. This is